forgotten knowledge. I know we talked about this in the first session, but it's this: if you just reject these things out of hand and don't do them God's way, for every piece of this you do your way instead of God's way, makes you weaker. So the purpose is to tithe and give, to save. Here's the order, guys. Pay God, pay yourself, pay everybody else. I assume that I'm looking at people who pay God. I assume I'm looking at people who pay a lot of other people. How many people am I looking at that pay themselves? Pay God, pay yourself, pay everybody else, in that order. And see, you see now why I like to see you out of debt, because number 3, you don't want number 3 to always be bouncing up to number 1, where you're having to pay other people all the time. Put you in bondage. The third, pay living expenses, seed for asset building. Now see, as we go up these levels, you're going to understand the importance of this seed for asset building. We'll talk about it later. Usually this type of income is a job. Anybody ever had a job? Does anybody have a job? Jobs are good. Everybody say jobs are good. They produce level 1 income. Classification of this income is an employee, self-employed, and it's non-leveraged income. I'll explain non-leveraged income later. It is employee or self-employed. And we're going to talk about this more a little bit later, but just suffice it to say that look, it's fine to be self-employed, guys, but most of the time when we're self-employed, we've bought ourselves a job. Because if you're not there to do it, you don't get paid. So sometimes self-employment can be a little bit even more of a prison than what you think it is. So that's level 1 income. Now level 2 income is income that works for you. Level 1 income is income you work for. Level 2 is income that works for you. It's getting better, isn't it? Income that works for you. The purpose is to tithe and give, to save, to asset building, seed for investing, and it's foundational wealth. How many of you remember I talked about riches and wealth? Riches is the flow of income that comes to us on a frequent basis. If you get paid once a week, twice a month, once a month, however income flows to you is the riches that God's blessing you with. That's like a river that flows into your life. And so what we've done in this country is we used all our river of riches up to support our standard of living. There's nothing left to build wealth. So, and here's the other problem. Everybody's trying to do all this from level 1. Can't do it. Look, to do it from level 1, you have to have enough disposable income to give you the ability to do these things. Most of us, our jobs don't support that. Most people have 2, 3, 4 children. You got a lot of expenses, a lot of things going on. Their income, you just can't do it from level 1. That's why these other levels of income are so important. So you tithe and you give, you save, you asset build, that's seed for investing, and it's foundational wealth. The type is asset income. Class is investor, managed income not worked for. You're an investor at this point. It's managed income not worked for. Well, by the way, my wife's sitting back there in the back. Y'all wave at her. My wife manages our real estate. Real estate is our form of level 2 income. And so what we do is we have taken money and invested it in real estate, and we have income that comes in from that real estate. And so I'm an investor by doing that. It's income that works for me. I've taken money that I've already made, and I've gone and put it to work somewhere. And you know what it does? It just sits there and makes cash. Turns it out. That's income that works for you. Managed income, it's not worked for. I don't have to go work for that income. But I do have to manage the real estate. Actually, my wife does. She does a good job at that. I was telling the business class this morning, what I like about having Patsy around to do this stuff is, it's easy sometimes when you're doing things like real estate and you do what I do, all these other things in my life. It's just easier to write the check, fix things, and go on. Not have to think about it too much. But that's not good stewardship. It's not efficient. We recently bought a piece of property, and we bought this house with all the furniture in it, completely furnished. And so we went in, looked at the house, and she's absolutely great at seeing what needs to be done. She can just look at a place and know, we need to do this, 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 and this. And we do inspections, so if there's anything to fix, we do that. But anyway, she says, well, you know what I'm going to do? We don't need this. Nobody needs this furniture. The kids don't need it. We don't need it. She does an estate sale, sells all the stuff from inside the house, makes exactly the amount of money she needs to rehab the house. No more money goes into it. We control the amount of our initial investment. It increases our ROI, our return on investment. You do things that make you money. And some people have a very, I think God gifts some people to do this. I think Ashley's gifted to do that, he and Carly. Just know what you need to do. I just know more about them. Know what you need to do to make money. Okay, level 3 is income that works without you. Purpose is to, see, the purpose is going to change this time. It's to tithe and give. Multiply assets, preserve wealth, and build wealth. The type is an absentee owner. It's asset income. The class is business owner, investor, mentor, leveraged income. That's the type 3 is probably, it's the most difficult to get to. Most people don't get to it. Now, let me show you how that works for us. Level 1, I had jobs for years and years and years. At the same time, we were investing in level 2. Level 3 in my life is I have these companies that other people are running and operating, and I'm here with you. It's income that's working without me. It's income that is coming from assets that I built years and years ago. But it just keeps working. It keeps working. If they don't send me a paycheck, they'll hear from me. So I have level 1, level 2, and level 3 income. And this is what you want to work toward, guys. Look, don't get frustrated or impatient. Oh, I can't do that. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And if we'll start applying what we know, we'll get there little by little. You guys that are young and still, and this is not to say the older ones don't have time. I told somebody this morning, coming and telling me some things about what they wanted to do. I said, it's never too late. Never too late. God will redeem the time. You know, you say, well, you don't know the mistakes I've made in my finances. Yes, I do. I've seen every mistake that's possible and done most of them myself. So yes, you can. You can do this, but you got to start. You got to take this knowledge and you got to apply it. Remember that gap between what you know and what you do. You got to apply it. So these levels of income give you the freedom that you need. Let me explain a couple of things here. Look, for instance, look at level 3. With level 3 income, once you've, let me put it this way. Go back and look at level 1. My personal expenses are paid back there. As a matter of fact, because when you get out of debt and you really, you're being conservative and understanding how to operate in your finances with some stewardship, I've got a whole lot more money left from level 1 now than I ever have. Disposable income. The income that I have at level 2 and level 3, I'll never use. I'm not trying to be arrogant. We'll never spend all this money. You can't once you get this thing rolling. So all of this goes to my kids and grandkids. The Bible says a righteous man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. I've already got them written in. Some of them aren't even born yet. So what you do is these assets that we built down here at level 1, in my case a business owner, at level 2 becomes real estate, stocks, bonds, investments. How many of you noticed that it's kind of a volatile time to be investing in stocks and bonds and things like that? But you know what? Overall, the only thing I have faith in is God, guys. All right? I don't have faith in the stock market. But me personally, in my lifetime, I know I'm a little older than some, but I've averaged in the stock market, I've averaged a little over 11% since about 1982. But I cannot averaged over 11%. But I can show you years where it was negative 2%. It's all these guys that tell you they're making 30% year after year, just look at them with a real, suspect look in your eye. Okay? I mean, let's just be real. Okay? If you can get 6% today, get it. Do it. But you know what? It'll come back. It'll come back. But you can invest in these other things, and that's income that's working for you. But income that works without you is a totally different thing. If you look at the the type, an absentee owner, that's me. I'm an owner, but I'm absent a lot of the time. I attend board meetings and financial management meetings, and every once in a while they have me come in to be the coach and the rah-rah, and teach the marketing people or teach, whatever we're doing. And that's great. I love doing it. But I'm not there every day. So absentee owner, and it's asset income. It's an asset that's producing the income that was built sometime in the past or bought sometime in the past. And we're going to talk about, you know, how many of you understand the difference between asset and liability? Is there any accountants in the room? Anybody that's ever done any accounting? Well, let me tell you how I define assets and liabilities. Real simple. An asset is something that's put money in your pocket, and a liability takes it out. Is that simple enough? Well, here's what some people will tell me. They want to stay down here at level 1 and say, well, I own my home. My banker told me that's the greatest asset I'll ever have, the greatest investment I could do. Wrong. Your home is not an asset. Now everybody mad at me? Your home's not an asset. Let me tell you why your home's not. It's somebody's asset, but it's not yours. It's either the bank's or your heirs. But it won't produce income for you as long as you live in it. Is that simple enough? It's not an asset. It doesn't pass the smell test. It doesn't put income in your pocket. You got to have a place to live. I'm glad you own your home. That's fine. I'm not telling you to go sell your house. I'm just telling you don't look at it as an asset. It'll never make you money unless you decide to sell it and go rent a place, an apartment, and back down the hill again. And sometimes you may need to do that. But here's what I'm trying to get. I'm trying to get this thing gone that our house is going to save us. What just happened in the real estate bubble? There were people who had $100,000, $150,000 equity in homes gone in an instant. Literally gone in an instant. They're still stuck at level 1. Now they lost their job. How's level 1 working out for us? Look, it just doesn't put you in a position of strength. And so that asset, if you go to the bank, I'll tell you whose asset it is while you're paying it off. It's the bank's. You know how I know that? It's on their